Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and it's great to be back with you all. I have the latest Gemstone Orphanage bi-monthly subscription box that we're going to open up together, and this is for the month of September. If you're interested in signing up for future Gemstone Orphanage subscription boxes, you can check out the link that I have right down below the video. It'll take you right to their website with all the details that you need to know about signing up. And for those that were not able to get their hands on this particular subscription box, they are offering a limited number of non-subscription box options to go along with this September theme. So if you are interested in getting one of those, you might want to do that sooner rather than later because I'm sure they're going to sell out very quickly. I do want to let you all know that they just started testing out some shipping to Canada, so it looks like they have that option now. And in addition to a beautiful and unique gemstone orphan that this box is centered around, you're also going to get a very well thought out selection of supporting beads, including some crystal varieties, other gemstone varieties, glass, and some metallic components. And they also offer a findings add-on kit to the subscription box of beads, which is a fantastic value that is always chock full of not only basics in a coordinating set of colors, but also some really unique metallic items too to bring your jewelry to life and bring everything together. So those two options you can find on their website, whether you want the beads only or with the findings add-on kit. And if you want to get both, like you're going to see here, it is $45.90 plus shipping every 2 months. But again, check out their website for all those details. And now for what we've all been waiting for, let's go ahead and dig into this box. Oh my goodness, I have a personalized note here, and it says, I've just adopted twins. Oh my goodness. They aren't identical, probably not even fraternal. I guess that means they might not be twins at all, but they are so cute together, we just couldn't separate them. So guess what? You get them both. Feel free to announce your good fortune to the world. All right, guys, so normally we get one gemstone orphan pendant that is very special. They even go so far to photograph, catalog, and provide you with paperwork specifically to that, which we'll probably take a look at soon. But this twins perk, it looks like, from what I'm reading, it's just for a small percentage of the boxes. Once in a while, you're going to see a surprise twins announcement when you open up your box, just like that one. So it's a fun ongoing surprise promotion. And of course, we'll check out those up close. And then we'll get into the rest of the contents, which you can see here. There are copious amounts of additional beads and things we're going to be checking out. So lots of things you can put together to make finished pieces just from the contents that you receive here. And at the top, we have a little bit more information. It says this month we're featuring 2 types of agate orphans from the dendritic family, traditional dendritic agates and plume agates. And it says the best thing is they go with everything, and a little bit of everything is what you will get. On the second page, this is for the findings, and for an additional like $11, you get all of these extra findings that are packaged up in a separate bag. So we'll take a look at those after we get into all the beads. Here is the box back with the contents, of course. We've got our main subscription package right here with our beads, and then the findings that are separated into this one. These 2 bags are, of course, I'm sure, holding the twins. Take a look at this information. That looks intriguing. And then here are those special envelopes with the unique paperwork inside that catalog each of these very special gemstone orphans. So I've got 2 different papers in here, one for each of the stones. Of course, we have our really important stuff pages that goes over the care instructions and other information about keeping those stones in tip-top shape. And the first one is right here, and it is very tone on tone, but what is so cool is if you look at this up close, it's got these hairline inclusions that are just so interesting in a slightly darker color. And it's easier to see them when the light's passing through. So that's why I wanted to hold this up to that. And I'll show you the paperwork in just a moment, how they have this documented front and back. This really is the sort of thing that will go with a lot of different colors, or you can keep this very neutral or even combine it with some contrasting black. It would bring out some of those additional spots in there. And you can see how the top of this one is domed. It's got this long oval shape, the hole drilled at the top, and a flat, very smooth back. And bringing back the adoption certificate, this is an example of what you'll receive with your box to document your very beautiful gemstone orphan with the full color front view and back view, and also some more specific information, size, shape, type of stone that you have. And like I've been saying with these, I think they would make some really awesome gifts, especially if you know others who really enjoy beading and working with gemstones. You could include the certificate with that as part of the package. It'd be really, really cool to receive, I think. And now let's look at our other twin. And we have another beauty here in another neutral mix, but some really cool abstract looking inclusions that you can really see when holding this up to the light, and how some of these formations just look to be suspended inside. It's really neat. This one, of course, is a teardrop shape, so that's cool. I got something in the long oval. Now we have a teardrop shape. So not the same stone, but they'll definitely coordinate, both of these being neutral. And they're going to provide a really wonderful foundation for some new necklaces. There's a look at the back. It's flat back there, and once again has that bit of a domed top. So there's a peek at the adoption certificate for that one. Same with the front and back view, full color photos, and descriptions. So just keep in mind, again, the twins promotion is limited to a small number of boxes, and it's just a fun surprise. You might see something like that pop up in your subscription. Otherwise, as usual, you'll at least get one beautiful gemstone pendant that has been carefully selected and ready to be sent to its new home. So bringing back the main contents of the subscription, here's what we have that we're going to be checking out next in this organza bag to go along with our pendants. And everything you see here, this is what would be included in the base Gemstone Orphanage bi-monthly subscription without the findings. That price currently $34.95 per month plus shipping. So if you don't want to get the findings in addition, you have this option too. But right now, let me get organized. We'll go down that list of contents. And because we have so much to look at, I might be double or tripling up some things as we go. But I'll be right back and we'll take a look at everything here close up, one at a time. All right, so getting started with the items we have on the list to go with the bead bag. First, we have 2 strands containing the dendritic agate rounds. There's the 8mm and 6mm sizes with 19 pieces on this strand of the larger rounds and 24 pieces on the strand with the smaller rounds. And of course, we see a lot of neutrals, especially with a lot of that creamy white or clear that is either more or less transparent depending on the particular stone, which also gives you a good view of all of those additional inclusions, especially in the darker colors that are in the form of spots and striations, making each of these just a little bit different. To go along with those, they've added some pink aventurine rounds in 3 different sizes, the 4, 6, and 8mm. 14, 24, and 32 pieces on these strands, with some having a bit more of that peach pigmentation and some being a little bit closer to that white or clear. And these being just neutral enough, they would go really well with the dendritic agate, but also you could brighten them up, add these to some other brighter contrasting colors, or just keep things tone on tone, maybe add some metallics, maybe some gold tone spacers. But we're just getting started on all the additional beads that they are including. Here are the next 2 strands on the list. The one on the left, this includes the white agate faceted rounds, and you could either get the faceted rounds or smooth rounds in that selection. These are in a 6mm size with 20 pieces, and you can see that they are glossy, with some areas being a little bit more transparent. And then we have the next two items combined on this single strand. This time in a matte or frosted finish. We've got the druzy agate rounds, and also we have the frosted crackle agate cubes. So you can see those alternating on this one, those cubes being a lot more white overall, and some of that peach or tan color showing up a little bit in those druzy agate rounds. Here are the final three gemstone strands before we get into some of our glass and crystal strands. On the left are the pink spot agate rounds in the 8mm size with 13 pieces on that one. And this has a little bit more variety in terms of the colors that show up in these different beads, and how they do have certain areas that do seem to have more spots and speckles that show up on the surface. This one in the middle is holding two different sizes of pink aventurine rondelles. We have the 6x4 and 8x5mm, which are the larger ones that are in the center of the strand, giving us a graduated selection of more of those neutrals in the clear and peach range. And then the final gemstone strand that I am seeing contains a selection of sunstone chips. Of course, their sizes do vary a bit, but they're all around the 5 to 8mm approximate size range. And these also have that really pleasing light peach appearance overall, with subtle differences in each of these stones, along with a beautiful sheen that you can see as the light bounces off of the surface. Here are the final strands containing some crystals and other glass beads. We've got the light khaki grade A AB crystal discs all the way on the left in the 8x6mm size with 15 of those in all of their sparkly goodness, with the facets that adorn the outside of those discs. And then on our next strand, we've got two different sizes of light yellow AB glass rounds in the 8 and 6mm sizes. That hint of iridescence on the surface, and just a hint of that light golden yellow, which will break up some of those gemstone beads a bit. Along with this last strand containing two different etched bead varieties. Looks like there is a crystal rice etched chevron type with the half-plated green and AB coating. And also we have some crystal faceted rounds in the white with the etched wavy pattern. So those will add a little bit more interest, not only to the surface with the etching that we have, but also through those additional unique shapes to add in with those basic rounds and other things that we've seen so far. So already I think you can see that we have a lot of things here to work with and play around with, especially for the really great price of the box. But we're going to fill up this bead mat because we've got a lot more to look at, including some bagged items in this selection, starting with 12 pieces of the pink aventurine nuggets. These are in the 8x6mm size. I like how these are all slightly different, but still similar in their sizes, and all being very smooth and glossy, some of them having a bit more of that peach tone that is expected with the aventurine. And just going ahead and unbagging these items in advance, here's the next selection. We have 12 pieces of the 6 to 7mm freshwater ring potato pearls in this white color. Of course, a classic item that pairs with so many things, but especially a lot of the neutrals that we have here. I love the little bit of a ring detail or texture that they have around the outside. And they also bring in a little bit more opacity with that solid creamy white. And of course, their lovely mother of pearl sheen. Here are the next two selections together. On the left are a set of two grade AA sunstone rounds in the 8mm size, and you can see that gorgeous sheen that they have as they catch the light, just stunning, and offer that beautiful inner glow and shimmer. And then on the right are some agate tubes, which are really cool. And I thought they were glass at first, but these are the 9x3mm white agate tubes, and they're in this rectangular shape. Here we have 4 of the magnesite ovals in the 18 by 13 millimeter size with all of their beige striations and veining just winding through that light bone-colored background, and the hole going there through the length of those flat ovals. Also included are some Chinese crystals. There's a set of 2 of the crystal drops with the metallic on white. Those are sort of like a half and half with the hole running up and down the length of those drops. And then we have a selection of 6 faceted crystal rice beads in a color variety called wheat with an AB finish. So even more sparkle and additional shapes to add in and blend together with our other gemstone and glass beads. Our next selection contains a little bit more color, and I'm loving these little tiny cabochons. There's 2 different styles. There's some round ones there with the dome top and a striped pattern going from orange to gold to white, and then that selection of colorful little hearts. All of these having a flat base, so you could use these in a variety of ways, including embroidery. These could be easily glued down onto some fabric and incorporated into a mixed media piece as one example, and you could also incorporate them into some bead weaving projects if you wanted to work with something as tiny as these are. They're listed as being about 6 millimeters. And there's about 12 of those round striped ones, and it looks like about 18 of the hearts. And then to wrap it up with the beads portion, we have some bonus items. These could vary from box to box. And the colors of these, for example, could vary too from box to box. I happen to get a set of the green lava rock links in the 16 by 12 millimeter size. And these go along with the little vial and paperwork we saw earlier that I'm going to bring out now, which is a very intriguing concept that you can use, especially with these lava rocks and some other porous stones that will absorb and hold the special oil. That special oil that I'm talking about, they've called it eau de l'orpheline, a mixture of oils and essences, extracts and infusions, scents and fragrances exclusively created by Homestrung Labs to be used along with your gemstone jewelry. They translate the name to mean water of the orphans, which sounds a lot cooler than orphan oil. So that's a great compliment. Let me take a sniff. I'm not so great at describing smells, but it's sort of sweet and floral, feminine, almost a little beachy, all in one, but it smells really good. And it says on their paperwork that you can just apply 1 or 2 drops of this to your bead and just use your fingers to rub the oil into it. Let it absorb into the stone for a moment, and then you should be able to enjoy the scent for hours or even days to come, which is really neat. So here's an example of some of those additional bonus items, which are the lava rock strands in assortments of different sizes and shapes. We've got coins, drums, rounds, wheels, rectangles, some of them being large enough to be standalone or part of a pendant, and of course a variety of colors here too, in addition to some of the neutrals. So that's an excellent value, I think, once again, for the around $35 if you just got the beads portion of the subscription alone, with everything that's been so well thought out and handpicked to go together in each box, which are really exclusive too because they only have a certain number of boxes that they're able to put together each time. And their terrific owners really care so much about all the details in each of these packages and want to make sure everyone is happy, which I think is totally evident in the way they operate. But we still have the bag of findings to go through. Lots of things here with another full page of coordinating elements. So once again, I'm going to get organized and then we'll go through each of these items close up one at a time. All right, so the first bag contains a number of very practical things, including the crimp tubes and covers, and we have some wire guards, multiples of each of these in the gold tone. There's also two different types of French hook style ear wires. Some of them have the ball detail and then the other ones don't. And it looks like there's 8 pieces of each, so 4 pair in total for both. There's also 3 different pairs of post earring findings, some in the larger flat hammered style with that circular disc, and then a couple of more dainty styles, including one with those clear cubic zirconia accents. And here are the head pins with the ball detail. This box contains 18 to 20 of those. And on the left are the metal spacer beads in the square shape and their Tibetan style. We have 7 of those beads included. There's a look at where the hole is located, and that design shows up on both sides. Our next 2 selections include the 5-petal floral bead caps. We have 20 in total, and they're around 6.5 millimeters. On the right are 20 pieces of daisy star hangers in the antique gold style. They have a loop that's located at the top, as well as the opening in the center of the star. Here are 3 different types of bails, 2 of them being the small bar style with the loop at the top. And also included is a slightly larger pinch bail in the gold-plated brass. Could use something like that right away to attach to your gemstone orphan. And next, here we have another selection of spacer beads in the gold tone. These are a smooth, round, oval shape, along with some additional bead caps on the left that have that corrugated design with the dots, a little bit larger than those previous floral-shaped ones too. And now here are the 3 different types of chain that they've included. The bead color on that beaded chain on the right says it will vary from box to box. Mine just happened to be in the opaque red, some of those little faceted glass rondelles, and there's 18 inches of that. Then 36 inches of the light gold flat cable alloy, so a generous amount there. And then also a generous amount, 30 inches of the gold cable alloy chain in the center. That's a little bit smaller, a 3 by 2 millimeter. The one on the left being about 3.6 by 2.8. Still not too chunky, and so much here to work with. You could trim these in whatever length you need and use them across multiple projects. They've included some more cord for us. We have some light yellow leather cord in the 2 millimeter size. It says there's 1 yard of this, and it's in this very light neutral color with additional cord ends included that should fit this size really well. The next bag contains a whole bunch of goodies, such as some connectors. We've got some larger star flower connectors that go from a 2-loop to a 1-loop. Also some of those hearts that are pretty simple and wide open. There's a selection of smaller floral-shaped links, which contain 6 loops. Then a set of 2 in this shield design. It looks like these are the same on both sides. And then there's also this set of 2 2-hole Navette spacer bead elements, also in that antique gold color. As usual, we also have a selection of clasps in different styles, 2 different toggles, one in the smaller rope or twisted design, and then a slightly larger one with the heart shape opening. There's also a magnetic clasp and 2 sizes of gold tone lobster clasps. The final bag of metallics contains some ribbon and cord ends, as well as some of those cones. And these will also come in handy with some of that flat leather we took a look at. And we've got a couple other cord selections, it looks like, too. So they've really covered the full range of things when it comes to findings. And for an extra $11, I personally think it is well worth it to go ahead and sign up to have those included along with your beads. They send the most unique leather cord. I really love that. This is a 9-inch segment of the multicolor variety with silver trim. It's an 8 by 2 millimeter size. You can see the yellow, blue, red, and other colors that are found in the stripes on this cord. And then there's a look at the back. And last but not least, we have a 10-inch segment of some leopard print leather cord in the slightly larger 10 by 2mm variety. So that's definitely fun and different as well. And like I said, we should have the cord or ribbon ends that go with each of these different sizes. Well, that is another fantastic Gemstone Orphanage subscription box. This one for September 2023 with all of the lovely neutrals and some other suggestions of colors. I love the aspect of that exclusive scented oil that they put together that you can use along with some of those porous lava stones. That's just another example of a really fun surprise that they've included. I was not expecting that. And look at all the beads and findings we have to play around with on this mat that is full of coordinating shapes and sizes. And so exciting that this month I received the twins. So if you like working with gemstone beads in particular, I think you'll really enjoy this subscription. Once again, it's every 2 months. And the spots are really limited because this is a small operation that is meant to really place a high priority on consistency and quality of what they send. So keep in mind, if you do pick up one of these boxes or one of the extra boxes outside of the subscription, your contents may vary slightly from box to box, especially certain colors might be a little bit different. Also, of course, it goes without saying probably, but with the stones, each of those is going to be special and unique in its own way, all having their own blend of inclusions and compositions. So that's, of course, a good thing to keep in mind. I love how each one of these has been something different. Every 2 months, they will build a whole box like this around a particular gemstone orphan. And the quantity of everything that they've included has stayed consistent from the start of their offering. So be sure to check for that link down below. You can find out all the details you need to know about signing up. You can also find the link to that one-time box if you wanted to pick up one of those if they have any left. And also be sure to check out their YouTube channel. They have their own unboxing that they've done. You could see some other differences between this box and the one they share. Not to mention, they have some finished pieces at the end of that video you can check out as some inspiration in the meantime. Well, that's all I have for today. I want to thank you all so much for joining me for this unboxing. It was great to be back. Even though I'm still officially on a break for a little while longer, you know I couldn't go too long without popping in. I've got more fun to come in the future though, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also be sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment down below. It's always great to hear from you. Until next time though, I will see you all again real soon. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and as always, happy beading.